do with people, and then how do you translate that into a day-to-day spiritual grounding and then making sense of people trauma?
You spoke about spiritual grounding.
Mm-hmm.
I believe by default we always connected with the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Like my spirit is living in this physical body, but like I'm always connected. There's gonna be feeling of domestication, of trauma, or wounds and pains, and now you take birth, and now there's the entire family drama and lineage, and I don't know what systemically we carry as interconnection. So we are always spirit. It depends on how intentionally you stop moving. So alignment starts with intention. Like, what do I want to experience today when I get up? It starts with an intention, right? That's the seed that I'm planting. So alignment starts there. What I do is I'm a life coach. I'm licensed by the International Society of Neuro-Semantics. I'm a women's circle facilitator, and I've been trained. I would say I've been held, and I'm still being held by my teacher Megha group under the She Stand Tall project based in Bangalore, and the entire work comes from the California studies of integrated studies actually, and it's deepened in women's spirituality and women work. And I'm a yoga teacher. I've got a business background. So how do I put all of this, and how do I work with people? I'm very clear in my mind. What I do is I facilitate journey. So I don't do anything for people. When people come to me, whether it's for one-to-one coaching or women's session or yoga classes, or people come for conversation, first and foremost, I make it very clear I have tools, but you're gonna have to find your way out. So what I do is I simply hold space. I really create whole space. So to hold space is really core for me to set rules or boundaries and guideline and frame the conversation like this is how it's going to happen in this specific context, and then follow up with people. I will say the way I work, and it has taken me years to get there, and it's not always easy. I've learned to allow myself to be, and I've realized that by doing that, it's magic. People allow themselves to be with me. So I've done it so many times, and it works. It's like I'm not gonna screw something that works, so it just works. So how does all these tools get transposed and in my work? I feel even if I will say like some of the tools are used with and parts, but being present is something that is part of my life, but a part of the work that I do. So very basically, like before we started the conversation, I was like, what state are you in? Are you in your best state? So these are simple things that I will bring in my work. Having clear intention of why things are happening, these are things that I will have in my work. So whether it be through yoga, whether it be through coaching, or whether it be through women session, my focus is that of holding space with and planting seeds. So I do that. I do my work. Whether you like it or not, I know I do my work, so I'm going to do my work.
That's beautiful. And you speak a lot about women's circle. So is there something that called you to hold more spaces for women and men to understand the divine feminine, divine masculine in them, and then to make sense of how spirituality correlates with this modern age, and how do we make sense of our life, but in relation to where we're going? So I read you a lot, and I hear you say reclaim, remember a lot, and then how do you make sense of that, and how do you want people to understand those notions?
So the first question was, is there a calling for women's circle? My journey led me here. So if I'm here sitting with you, it's been a whole journey of how I grew up as a child, the discomfort, the disease, the sickness, the uneasiness of being a child and a girl growing up, and like just the way I look, because I look very different from my family, and I have kind of like men features, and all of this has been part of, this is what I was told growing up. So is there a calling for women's circle? My journey 10 years ago started this way. it was very clear to me like I had to be out there in the world and I had things to do with women. But I didn't have like a clear vision back then. But I jumped and I started, and for over the next 10 years, like last 10 years, it has shifted. It's very clear today. It's about holding space. What we're doing exactly right now, having conversation, open conversation, discomforting conversation, vulnerable conversation that allow both men and women to come to a space of understanding and hearing and listening. I like this question because a lot of us get it all wrong. Masculine and feminine are qualities, they're not traits. And by qualities, what I mean is, we're not going to get this because that's a long conversation. You need intuition, right? But you need logic. Both of them need to work side by side. So all of us have the masculine and feminine together. If you feel, you got to step out and do. So all men and women have that. We live in a world where the masculine and feminine have been transposed in personality traits. 2 weeks ago, it's very interesting, I had a conversation with a young woman and she was like, before in my work, I was very submissive, like very feminine. I was like, what do you mean by feminine? She was like, I was very submissive and introvert and I wouldn't talk, and now this work has enabled me to be more masculine. I was like, how are you doing masculine now? And she was like, now I'm aggressive and I'm out there and I'm talking and I'm outspoken. I was like, who told you being aggressive and outspoken is masculine? And she was like, came from this like that. Somebody told you that, you pick it up and you made an agreement with it, and that's the entire drama today that we have around masculine and feminine. So yes, part of my work is about moving both men and women, but my work basically touches women. But it's interesting that more and more men have started to listen to my conversation. So my work is really about teaching women, moving to the essence of what it means to be a woman, and how does the feminine and the masculine plays in us. So it is very much there.
And you do a lot of storytelling as well. And what is your relationship to the whole aspect of storytelling? What made you take that path?
Storytelling is telling stories, right? We're going to use our body, we're going to use voice, we're going to use laughter and giggles, and right now we're telling stories. It has taken a form that doesn't look like storytelling, but we're telling stories. I'm a storyteller, you are a storyteller, and I feel all of us come from lineage that have been storytellers. These are all verbal, oral tradition, and we are connected by stories. Right? It's less about the emotion, it's more about the stories. That's how we are wired up. And I feel Brené Brown spoke about this. She spoke about, in a world of scarcity and of fear, the only way we really reach out to connect is through stories. And connecting through stories and like genuine stories asks of us to show up vulnerably. Like that's courage. I show up, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like we show up today, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know how the question's gonna take up, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to feed enough content into my question. So it's really about showing up and allowing myself to be seen, heard, and felt. But I feel the most important part of storytelling is not about the story we tell to others. What story am I telling to myself? How do I relate to my own story? And am I allowing myself that space, that safe space to just show up and look at myself, feel myself, touch myself, and acknowledge those stories.
Pas de meilleure conversation passée à Check-in Café Bistro.